I am going to give you the shortest, simplest, and absolutely guaranteed blueprint to build a successful real estate business in 2026. All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Grab pen and paper. We are going to get right to work. I am going to give you the shortest, simplest, and absolutely guaranteed blueprint to build a successful real estate business in 2026. You're going to begin with what is the goal for the year? And the goal for the year in this example is $200,000. We have an average commission of $10,000. So we're going to take $200,000, divide it by 10,000, and that lets us know we need to close 20 units in order to hit our 200,000 GCI goal. Now we're assuming that we're running a business that is 50-50, 50% buyers, 50% sellers. We're going to need 10 seller closed, 10 buyers closed. Now in order to close 10 sellers, we're going to take 15 listings. This is based on an average of about 75% of the listings you take should close. That is going to depend greatly on your ability to have a strategic pricing conversation with your sellers. For more information on strategic pricing conversations, if you haven't heard me talk about it yet, it is on my YouTube page. So there's plenty of information there, or just reach out to me and I'll give you more information on that. All right, so we're going to take 15 seller listings. In order to do that, we're going on 24 list appointments. Again, we're basing this on conversion ratio of about 75% from a listing appointment to a listing taken. Now, on the buyer side, we're also going to close 10 sales. We're going to have 12 buyer broker agreements signed. The conversion from a buyer broker agreement to a closed sale is higher, and the conversion from a buyer consultation to a buyer broker agreement probably a little bit lower. So we're looking at 24 buyer appointments, 24 list appointments. We have a total of 48 appointments. Starting with 48 appointments, we have three different buckets of opportunity we're going to use for lead generation: prospecting, marketing, and repeat and referral business. We're going to take 20 units and we're going to multiply that by 120. Now, the reason we're multiplying this by 120 is we are assuming, or we're using an average of 120 conversations to a signed list agreement or a signed buyer broker agreement. On average, 120 conversations per signed agreement is generally what we're going to see. All right, so 20 sales times 120 equals 2,400 contacts divided by 250 days. It's 9.6 contacts per day, or 9.6 conversations per day. Just average it up to 10. We have three different buckets of opportunity: prospecting, which includes expired calls, for sale by owner calls, circle prospecting. When you're calling expired listings, you can call the seller direct, or you can call the listing agent who had the listing, and you can offer to pay them a referral fee for connecting you with the homeowner. Either way, it is a form of prospecting, and you have three basic forms of prospecting here: expired listings, for sale by owners, and circle prospecting. Marketing, farming, social media, Zillow, working your database. Number three, you work your sphere of influence and your past clients. You should get about a 10% return on that, meaning 10% of your database should turn into a closed sale. And we're going to work on daily standards of 2 hours of lead generation every day, 10 lead gen conversations per day, one new lead per day, one new met added to your database, and one appointment scheduled. These are daily standards. They are non-negotiable standards, which means I'm going to hold myself accountable to these standards. I'm not going to stop until I hit them. Now, when I do that every single day, 250 days a year, that's 50 weeks times 5 work days, I'm absolutely going to hit my goals, because how could you not hit your goals if you're hitting these standards? Now, remember, this is a choice. You choose whether or not you're going to fail or succeed when you're focused on hitting standards versus being focused on the results. Choose to always hit your standards and you're going to hit your goals. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at what this looks like as far in a model. You have prospecting, you have marketing. The goal of prospecting is to schedule a face-to-face appointment with somebody who is thinking of selling their home. You're going to put them in your pipeline or your funnel. That's crazy little picture over here. I don't know what that looks like, but it's supposed to be a funnel. If I'm adding one new person to my funnel every single day. In other words, I'm meeting with one potential buyer or seller every single day. That's 250 over the course of a year. And then working my database from the inside going out. We have our advocates in the center of the database. Those are your raving fans. Those are people who are going to give you multiple referrals per year. Then you have your past clients, your sphere of influence, your new Mets, and your habit Mets out here. The goal is to add one new habit Met to your database every day. Simply, hey, my name is John Dietz. I am a local real estate agent. I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That means I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I call every 2 or 3 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? There's your script. Say that to 10 people a day. I promise somebody's going to say yes. So you're adding one new person to your database every single day. Now we're going to use an 8x8. That means we're going to contact every single new Met once a week for 8 weeks. The goal of that is to create top of mind. So when they think of real estate, they think of you. The 8th conversation is, if you were going to buy or sell a home, would you potentially work with me? If you knew somebody that was going to buy or sell a home, would you potentially refer them to me? When you hear yes, you're moving them from a new Met down into your sphere of influence. Now they know you, they like you, and if they were going to buy or sell a home, they would potentially work with you, or they would refer business to you, which is a definition of your sphere of influence. Once you've got them in your sphere of influence, you're using a 36 touch campaign in order to build relationships. Now, 4 of those touches are phone calls, 1 per quarter, and they're Ford calls. Ford stands for family, occupation, recreation, dreams. In other words, if I called Debbie Clark, Debbie, how's the family? What do you guys got planned for the holidays? Last time you and I spoke, you were working as a CPA at blank, blank, blank accounting firm. Are you still there? If I had a referral for you, are you accepting new clients? What's the best way for me to send that information to you? Now, R is recreation, D is dreams. I don't have to hit every single letter on every single conversation. It's just an acronym to follow for communication. However, I am going to finish the conversation with, hey, Debbie, by the way, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Now, I don't have permission to ask that question until I've made deposits. It's deposit, 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 withdrawal. So make sure that you are making deposits by providing value and by reaching out and asking people, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? When you're doing that, you're making deposits. Now you have permission to make a withdrawal, which is simply, if you knew if somebody was going to buy a home or sell a home, would you potentially refer them to me? All right, other side of the page. We're meeting face-to-face with 250 potential sellers. These are mostly for sell-by owners and expireds or somebody you talk to on a circle prospecting call, and you're just going to see their home. If it's a for sale-by owner, for example, you're going to see their home so you could potentially bring them an offer, which is, Andre, hey, John Dietz here, local real estate professional. I notice you're selling your home by owner and just curious, if I had an offer, would you want me to bring you the offer? Yes. Great. I need to schedule 15, 20 minutes to pop by, take a look at your home, ask some questions, take some notes so I could potentially bring you that offer. Looking at 4 o'clock today, or would 5 tomorrow be better? Andre says 4 today. Awesome. So now Andre is a face-to-face appointment. He is in my pipeline. I'm going on 1 appointment per day. Now, this is probably the most important model on this page, which is the follow-up model. Success is in the follow-up. Everybody write that down. I have 3 stages in this model down here. 1 is lead generation, 2 is lead follow-up, and 3 is transaction management. These 250 people live right here. They're in follow-up. I am systematically following up over time in order to create emotional proximity. Now, systematically follow up means that I am following up at least 3 times in the first week, and then I'm going to back it down to once per week for the next 3 weeks. And then once we get into month number 2, I'm calling every other week for a couple months. Eventually, I'm calling once a month, but this never stops. This right here never stops. I am following up without exception. The only reason I'm going to stop following up is if they list their home with another real estate agent, or if they sell their home, they're for sale by owner and they sold their home, then of course I'm going to keep following up. Otherwise, I'm going to keep following up. It sounds sounds something like, I'm not interested. I'm not going to hire you. I'm never going to list my home with you. You don't need to call me anymore. Why do you keep calling me? Oh my gosh, it's you again. And oh, by the way, come on over. We want to talk about putting our home on the market. It works just like that, Debbie. I promise you it works just like that. So the model says that if I have 250 face-to-face appointments and I follow up without exception, I should have a 10% at the lowest conversion ratio, which would give me 25 signed agreements. Pretty simple, right? So recap, super quick, and then I'm going to come back to the screen and I want you guys to take the rest of the call and let's just have a conversation. I have a goal of $200,000. I know my average commission is $10,000. I need to close 20 sales in order to earn $200,000. That's 10 on the seller side, 10 on the buyer side. In order to close 10, I'm going to need to take 15 seller listings and 12 buyer broker agreements. In order to get 15 listings and 12 buyer broker agreements, I'm going to have to go on 24 seller appointments and 24 buyer appointments. Now that I know how many appointments I need, the next thing we're going to look at is what's the lead generation model that's going to get me 48 appointments. I have 3 buckets of opportunity: prospecting, marketing, and repeat and referral business. I know that 120 conversations typically turns into 1 closed sale, which means I'm going to have 2,400 conversations. That is speaking to somebody, okay? That's not a two-way text message. It's not Instagram. It's not a smoke screen. It's two-way conversations, talking to somebody on the phone or face-to-face. It's 10 per day, working expireds for sell by owners, circle prospecting, working my farm, social media, Zillow leads, working my sphere of influence and past clients. These are standards that I hold myself accountable to. These are non-negotiable standards. Every single day, I'm going to lead generate 2 hours. I'm going to talk to 10 people. Lead generation, not lead follow-up. So this is new business. I'm going to work until I have 1 new lead. I've added 1 new met and I've scheduled 1 appointment. And everybody I meet with goes into my follow-up funnel, which tells me I have a systematic process for following up in order to create emotional proximity with a 10% return. All right. That was a lot. It is recorded. You could go back and watch the recording, and you can sign up for a business planning clinic. And most of those are going to last at least a couple hours. Some last a couple days. And I basically gave you a business planning clinic for 2026 in 15 minutes. Follow that model. Now, raise your hand and talk to me. Tell me I'm wrong. If you have a challenge, what I just shared with you, I promise you, I won't make you look bad. I'll make you look good. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why this doesn't work. All right, Kim Crouch, talk to me.
I am not going to tell you you are wrong. I believe you are right. But would you mind repeating the Ford script, please?
It's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, right?
The script where just the quick phone call about adding people to your group.
Oh, sure. So Kim, by the way, I'm a real estate agent and I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. Is this the script you wanted?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, and I'm standing in line at Starbucks, guys, or at Walmart or at Publix. I don't know why I said Walmart. Publix. So Walmart's okay. Don't get me wrong. And I'm having a conversation with Kim. So Kim, by the way, I'm a real estate agent and I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. Now that simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month. And I call every 2 or 3 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Birgit, talk to me.
Okay, Publix all the way, best key lime pie, but that's the side note. And so absolutely, that model is just so flawless and it's one of the best models. So I have nothing wrong with the model. Where what I sometimes hear from newer agents, especially when they have no experience, and we say, okay, go in, all these different types of conversations. And sometimes I wonder if it's better to direct them to build up a certain skill level in one type of conversation instead of going into too many different areas, because it all requires a sort of learning and how to handle those conversations. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm so glad you said that. And I absolutely agree with you. I shared prospecting, marketing, repeat and referral business, and several different options for you when it comes to lead generation. Pick 2, maybe 3 at the most, and focus on those. Don't do everything. I built a real estate business that closed over 100 homes a year that was prospecting based with very, very, very little marketing, actually no marketing in the first 3 years, and repeat and referral business, some, but not much until the last 5 years of my business. 80% of my business was prospecting for the first 10 years. In the last 5 years, I would say that 60% plus was a repeat and referral business.
Yeah, so I think it's important. It's kind of pick your prospecting container, but then learn that skill level until you achieve some sort of mastery, so you can actually do that particular thing.
That's right. That's right. Anna, talk to me. Lindsay, you're on deck.
I was just curious because one of the biggest things that I want to also focus on 2026, I'm with EXP, and is inviting agents to join EXP. Do you have some information on that and how to invite and get them to join the company?
So, it's interesting because calling real estate agents is pretty much the same as calling for sell by owners and expire listings. By the way, I've done both for many years at a pretty high level. And I'm going to break a rule that I have, which is we're not going to talk about recruiting on this call, but I'm going to super quick. Okay, Anna, if I were to call you, it would be, hey, Anna, John Dietz, real estate agent based out of Palm Harbor, Florida. I've got a very successful, very non-traditional business that is expanding to your market. And I'd love to meet with you to talk about a potential partnership. I'm looking at maybe tomorrow, or would Thursday be better for you?
Okay.
There it is.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm so excited about doing that because I like talking to people, and I think I have a closer relationship with agents than I do with clients. Well, at the end of closing a transaction. So I'm really thrilled about expanding in that way next year.
Go get them, girl. You got it. Okay, Lindsay, talk to me.
Okay, good morning. You can see I'm not in Tampa. It is 21 in Tennessee. Hey, I was just thinking as I'm going into 2026, and obviously rookie going to be starting out fresh. You guys kind of hit it with 80% of your business in the 3 buckets and such. Yeah. So if I'm looking at a tactical plan, if I just solely want to look at prospecting, would I just kind of get tactical of breaking it down to 3 types of prospecting within those 3 buckets rather than being okay. And then the other thing was, I guess I just answered my question in my brain. I was going to ask about networking, but I guess that would fall under one of the prospecting buckets and such, potentially relationship. I think it's important, the networking side, in this little small town that I'm in, just to build trust and rapport and all that. So I guess I can add that to activity too. Sorry, thinking out loud, trying to challenge myself to be active on these things and put myself out there, but
you're doing great. You're doing great.
Thanks.
So marketing or networking 100% is a form of prospecting. And you could build a really successful business focusing on networking as your main source of business, by the way. Okay. And prospecting is the low hanging fruit. So when you get into the real estate business, if you're looking for the fastest source of business, F for sell by owner stands for fastest source of business opportunity, right? So call for sell by owners, call expired listings. That's the low hanging fruit, Lindsay. And networking is going to be really big for you as well. The other thing I know from speaking with you is you've got a real potential with your database, people that that know you and like you and want to support you. So don't forget about that. That's going to be really important too.
One last follow-up. I was just thinking, I wanted to get clarity on your numbers when you're talking about the 200,000 and the 10,000. Is that 200,000 gross? I'm learning the terms the sales, your sale volume, or is that your commissions you want to earn?
That's gross commission earned.
Okay.
So that's before any money. That's the gross amount, not the net amount.
Okay.
It's based on what's the average commission in your market. And I'm just using $10,000 as an average commission for the exercise. It could be less, it could be more.
Yeah, I got your email. We'll connect on more of a specific plan and stuff. Thanks.
Okay, Cole Harvey, talk to me.
Well, I've been freezing this whole call until I saw Lindsay, and now I feel a little bit warmer. I'm like, I got to stop being such a baby here. I'm fine. Okay.
He's in Florida, everybody. So when he says I'm in Florida too, and it's cold here.
It's cold. I'm freezing over here. I'm like, God, I feel better now. Okay, yeah. So the advocacy circle, that was like the center of the all those circles there. You mentioned like those are people that like refer you business multiple times a year that are just sending you business.
That's right.
Have like my friends and family, like I don't know anybody this year that sold or bought a house, like myself. What are some tips other than just calling these people that you know, and maybe that's the best way? What are some other tips to help kind of grow that advocacy circle and find those people that do know these people that are selling and buying?
So I'll give you one. Doug Fresh was one of my core advocates. Now I met Doug Fresh because he was a for sale by owner. I listed the property and sold it. What I didn't know is Doug Fresh was also the director of sales for the largest assisted living facility on the west coast of Florida, meaning anybody moving into that assisted living facility went through Doug Fresh, and they all had homes to sell, right? And he went on to send me anywhere between 8 and 10 referrals every single year for more than 10 years. That's a great example of having an advocate who is going to send you multiple deals a year. So I'd start there. Start calling the assisted living facilities, if I could talk, and ask to speak to the director of sales.
So funny you say that really fast because one of the first relist scripts I did, I got a lady that was she ended up going to a nursing home, sold with Mark Spain, but she call some nursing homes. That's something I never thought of. Thanks, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. So not to be technical here, but big difference between a nursing home and assisted living facility. You really want the assisted living facilities.
Okay.
That's what you want. All right, Shannon Green, talk to me. You're on mute, Shannon.
Sorry. When you were doing that first 8-point touch, are those all conversation calls or are you touching them in different ways?
Really good question. Emails, text messages, phone calls.
Okay.
I'm also a big fan of handwritten personal notes. I should add that to your daily non-negotiable standards. Look up the name Joe Girard, world record holder for automobile sales. He was selling an average of 25 a day. Sorry, guys. He was selling an average of 25 a day. He did not have floor time like most car salespeople do. Everything was by appointment, and he sent out 20 handwritten notes a day. So handwritten note, Shannon, big. So it's text messages, emails, and phone calls. Guys, that is a wrap. That was a 9:30 appointment that I have to get. So I'm going to say bye for now. I will see everybody tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Hope you guys got value today. See you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Just as a reminder, Friday is our last day for 2025. We're going to check out and enjoy the rest of the year. Invite your friends, grow the group, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Have a good day, everyone.
Your 2026 success starts with one decision. Don't forget to like and subscribe and scan the QR code to secure your coaching spot.